And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Madisonville Marine, G3 and Skeeter bass boats, Suncatcher and Sweetwater pontoon boats, Hurricane and Stingray boats, new and used boats, all with warranties, by the way. Mad Marine is everything you want in a dealer, and that especially means they're good people. They have been since 1976. Madisonville Marine, there is no better place to buy a boat anywhere in East Tennessee. Okay, guys, kind of an unusual story. Nobody really expected it this week. David Blackburn stepped down at Chattanooga. David Blackburn, of course, was the fan favorite to be the next AD at University of Tennessee. His name was out there early when people really shouldn't have even been talking about the search because it wasn't going to start until you got a new chancellor on campus. So his name was dragged through this thing for months and months and months, and might have rubbed some folks wrong at Chattanooga, and there might have been some issues with the football program as well. Chuck, you have ties to Chattanooga. You used to work down there. What are you hearing about the David Blackburn situation?
Well, the word that I heard was friction. There was just some friction that developed. You had a different chancellor in place from the one that hired David, you know, when he was brought in down there. And the whole public part of the UT search and David being so, you know, honest about how he was interested in the job, that rubbed some people the wrong way. And then Russ Huseman, who played football there when I covered the Mocs, he turned that program around. They had gone from a one-win team to winning 3 straight league titles. He really needed some better compensation. He was pretty much allowed to walk away. That also ruffled a lot of feathers. They thought David could have done a better job of at least offering him a package to keep him from going back to Richmond, where he'd been the defensive coordinator. So it was several things, and I think David might have just said, look, if you don't like the job I'm doing, fill in the blank, and it kind of came to that, I think.
Took him up on it, man.
And I think took him up on it.
The bad thing is, if you remember, right after the Tennessee job went to John Curry, David Blackburn quickly started tweeting about how much he loved Chattanooga and will work hard for Chattanooga. And my thinking at the time was, you could have some people down there at Chattanooga who are saying, so it took this to make you work hard for us? I mean, you'd like to think, Bob, that if you are up for a job, you know, if you're at Chattanooga and the Tennessee job comes open, you'd like to think that the boosters down there would be understanding if you wanted to go to your alma mater, which is in the SEC. But you're talking about people with big money, and with those usually comes some big ego. So I'm told he had some run-ins with some boosters down there.
You also, this wasn't like his name popped up in October and in November Tennessee hired somebody else.
Right.
His name was out there for what, 8 months?
Yeah,
just talked about constantly, and I think that probably wore some of the people at Chattanooga out because it was just so constant, so long. Not Tennessee's fault, not David Blackburn's fault, but it was a case of where he finally just, his name was synonymous with Tennessee's AD search, more so than with Chattanooga.
And it was such a public story for so long during that time when, as you mentioned, we were talking about a search that didn't exist, essentially, at that point. So before we even got to that point, then it became a very public matter in terms of candidates even talking about it. That couldn't have helped matters down in Chattanooga.
Sure, I mean, he was hurt by leaks because there was no search. I think there were individuals, trying to put their own searches together and let the word out. But there was clearly no search really intact, real search, until Beverly Davenport got over there and started running the thing.
And in the end, the main hiring qualification was a Power 5. You were an athletic, and that ruled him out right then.
He got the interview in New York, but didn't get the interview with the locals here, which is very odd in the way they handled that. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on the David Blackburn situation to see what comes out next or where he pops up next. When we come back, Peyton Manning and some horrible jerseys. Which makes Vol fans happier? I'll explain this to you. Come on back. We've also got a full song from Roger Klein, the Peacemakers, on the other side on the Sports Source.